Hi everyone, Mo'adim l'simcha. I hope that your Sidarim were enjoyable and meaningful and that you are enjoying the holiday thus far. Today we begin what hopefully will be a project that takes us all the way through Shavuot, and that is Pirke Abot Yomi. Every day one of the rabbis of Beth Torah will give a short message, a short limud on Pirke Avot as we make our way towards Matan Torah. This morning I begin with a short introduction and then we will learn the first Mishna together. Pirke Avot is found in Masechet Nezikin, which is the Seder of Mishnayot that talks about damages. And that fact poses two questions. First of all, why the name Masechet Avot? And second of all, why is it in the Seder that talks about damages when it has nothing to do with damages? First of all, what is Masechet Avot about? Masechet Avot is really about character refinement. It's about interpersonal relationships. It's about being a better human being. And hence it's given the name Masechet Avot for a couple of reasons, two of which the Mefashim point out, and that they are the Avot ideas, meaning the principles and the ideas included in this Masechet are the grandest of ideas. They are the Avot, the patriarchal ideas, the most significant. These are words to live by as a human being, as a Yehudi. These are the Avot, the most important ideas that we can possibly give over. Number one. Number two is they are avot. They are ideas that were exemplified by our patriarchs, Abraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov, Moshe, Aaron, the people who we look up to, our greats in history. These are the principles by which they lived, and therefore Masechet Avot, it is the tractate of the ideals and values and ideas lived by our avot. And in that vein, it is included in Masechet Nezikin. Harambam writes, Masechet Nezikin, as we mentioned, is about damages. If you are going to sit as a dayan and judge people in cases of damage, whether it be marital issues, whether it be financial issues, whatever it may be, you need to be a person who lives by the principles in this book. You need to be sympathetic, you need to be patient, you need to be unbiased, you need to be understanding. If you're going to sit and judge other people, then you need to be human being par excellence. And you need to have inculcated all of the ideas put forth in Masechet Avot. And hence it is in Seder Nezikin because it is a precursor to being one who sits and judges Nezikin. Why are we doing this now? It is tradition that between Pesach and Shavuot we learn Masechet Avot for a very simple reason. On Shavuot, we will commemorate Matan Torah. Before a person can be a ben or bat Torah, he has to be an upstanding citizen, an upstanding human being. Derech eretz kadma l'Torah. Before you can be an icon of Torah, you need to be a human being, understanding, sympathetic, and unbiased, and all of the things that we mentioned before. Those are precursors to being someone who can be an icon of Torah. And so before we stand before Borei Olam at Har Sinai, we need to refine our own character. And hence we learn Masechet Avot between now and Shavuot. The first Mishnah opens, Moshe kibel Torah miSinai. Moshe received the Torah from Sinai, Musara liYoshua, and he gave it over to Yoshua. The Yoshua the Zikanim, Yoshua gave it over to the Zikanim, Zikanim the Nevi'im, and the Zikanim gave it over to the Nevi'im, Nevi'im Saruha le'Anshe Knesset Hagdolah, and the Nevi'im gave it over to the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah, the governing body of the time, of which was comprised of the great leaders. That's part one of the Mishnah, which is important in and of itself. Masechet Avot begins with the concept of tradition. As we said, these ideas were passed down from our Avot to us, but more importantly than that, Torah is founded on tradition. Torah goes back 3,500 years, the only document in history that still retains its integrity after thousands of years, and that is a testament to the Jewish people. It is a testament to their devotion to Torah. It is a testament to their devotion to the process of education and the giving over of our values from one generation to the next, which really is what Pesach is all about, tradition. Our Torah is founded on tradition and a devotion to the educational process. Moshe got it 3,500 years ago. He gave it over. That person gave it over, and so on and so on and so forth, until here we are today, charged with this very same task to pass it on to our children, and therefore to make sure that we are not a weak link in the chain. Moshe got the Torah from Sinai. You'll note here that the people or group of people who are chosen to talk about as receivers of this tradition have something to teach us as well about what it means to exemplify Torah. Begins with Moshe. Moshe received the Torah from Sinai. Moshe was the most humble man to ever walk the planet. If you are to be a ben or bat Torah, one of the traits you have to have is humility. You have to have anava. Person has to be humble if they are going to truly exemplify Torah. He gave it over to Yehoshua. Yehoshua can be symbolized by devotion. He was Mesharet Moshe. He was devoted to Moshe as his teacher, as his leader, as his rabbi. He was devoted to the process. He was devoted to tradition. If we are going to be Bnei Torah, we need to be devoted to our teachers, to our elders, to the past generation, and we also need to be devoted to passing it on. And that is symbolized by Yehoshua. He was devoted to the past, and he was devoted to the future. He passes it on to the Zikanim. The Zikanim are the elders, people who have experience in life. A person's Torah learning is enhanced by his life experiences and vice versa. A person's life experiences are enhanced by Torah learning. Both ways. Torah learning enhanced by life, life enhanced by Torah learning. And that really is the Zikanim. The more I learn Torah, the greater outlook I have on life. The greater outlook I have on life, the deeper I can delve into understanding Torah. That's the Zikanim. The Zikanim gave it over to the Nevi'im. Very important concept. The Nevi'im were inspired by Borei Olam. They were essentially giving over the word of God. It's important to understand that Torah is not an intellectual pursuit. Torah is infused with divinity. It is the word of Borei Olam. It is infused with spirituality, and it has to be approached as such. It's not a subject that we learn in school. It's a way of life. We see the world through the prism, through the lens of Torah, through the eyes of an Avi. Borei Olam is here, is in Torah, and that is how we approach it. And the Nevi'im gave it over to the Anshe Knesset Hagdolah. The Anshe Knesset Hagdolah primarily helped the Jewish people acclimate to life post-Churban. And they had to make a lot of calls about application of Torah and about making new decisions given the circumstances. Anshe Knesset Hagdolah represent the concept of relevance, of making it real. Torah is not an intellectual pursuit. It's also not a coffee table book. It doesn't sit here and we just learn it to learn it. We live it and we apply it. And we approach every situation in life through the eyes of Torah. We make it real. We make it relevant. So if I am going to be a Ben Torah, I need to have humility. I need to be devoted to the past and to the future. I need to understand that my life experiences will enhance my Torah learning, and Torah learning will enhance my life experiences. I need to understand that it's not an intellectual pursuit. It is divine and spiritual. And lastly, I need to be committed to making it relevant and real and not just studying it, but also living it. Hem amru, they said, Shelosha devarim, three things. Hevu mitunim bedin, va'amidu talmidim harbe, va'asu siyag la Torah. Hevu mitunim bedin, you should be patient. Particularly if you're going to be a dayan, sleep on it. Don't make any rash decisions, and the truth of the matter is, that's advice for life. Always sleep on it. One of my rabbis taught me, somebody asks you a question, always tell them, I'll get back to you. Give it a second thought. Where's the question coming from? What's the background? What's the context? Be patient with life. Be patient with Torah. Be patient with people. V'he'emidu talmidim harbe, have a lot of students. Teach a lot of people, because that will challenge you to reach different people. Because everybody learns differently, everybody takes in information differently, everybody understands differently. And the more students you teach, the greater teacher you become, because you learn how to relate to different people. Have many, many students. It also gives a person more influence when they have more students. V'asu siyag la Torah, and make a geded, make a fence around Torah. Torah is something that we love. And when we love something, we protect it. And so it is incumbent upon us to show devotion and love for Torah. People ask all the time, don't the laws of the rabbis sometimes seem excessive? And the answer to that is no. The same way you would tell your 5-year-old who you're worried about going into the street, you wouldn't sit and explain to him, look both ways, make sure there's no cars coming. You tell, don't step into the street. You're 5 years old. You don't understand the nuance. Just don't walk into the street. Excessive? No, I'm a parent who loves my child. And at this stage, he can't understand the nuances, look both ways, listen for the cars. Don't step in the street. I love you too much to take that risk. Same thing with Torah. Be devoted to it. Love it so much that you're willing to protect it with everything that you are. And inasmuch, continue the tradition of 3,500 years so that it is still as alive and vibrant and conscious when you give it over to the next generation as it was when it was given over to you. I hope you enjoyed the first Mishnah. Have a wonderful day.